in the past, it's no longer live, but if you're here with us now, it is live. Decipher that. Hello, happy Saturday. Today I am making the Maisie bag from Swoon Sewing Patterns. Hopefully at some point I'll include a link down below. I was gonna film a tutorial, but I really don't feel like editing, uploading, etc. Let's just hang out live. I am going to try this with binding instead of a drop-in, or avoiding a drop-in by doing it another way. So I've done a video where I didn't make it a drop-in, and then I'm sure you guys have seen the video where the Maisie kicked my ass when we tried to add like fancy piping and stuff. So I'm not going to be adding piping just because I haven't tried piping and binding, and the idea of it scares me because I think I'm going to mess it up. Janess says, I love that you love binding. I love binding. It's kind of nice, I'm not going to lie. If I had to do like the fold over binding where you sew it on one side and then you fold it over again and sew again, no, I wouldn't enjoy that. But with waterproof canvas, so easy. I was thinking about it last night, and I'm tempted to order a yard of every single color of waterproof canvas and just spend a day like rotary cutting, binding. Just because when you're cutting out the lining for a bag and stuff, it's kind of hard to then find a spot to cut your binding out of. So I've got 4 pieces of binding that I think I'm going to have to kind of piece it together, which I'm not super worried about. But yeah, I think it'll turn out well. I'm not adding side pockets. Oh, Megan, in Australia, it's 4 a.m. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited. So if you haven't seen me make this bag before, I call it the Taco Llama Pad Bag, and you'll see why. But it's still a really cute bag, so yeah. I used my skiver yesterday to skive all the leather, so if you watch that, this is that bag. Everyone was like, I want to see you make it. I was like, okay, fine, let's do it. So CJ's on dad duty. I will be called for when food is needed. But today, it's just me and my machine. Okay, so the hardware is from my website, mormino.com. I am using a zipper tape. I believe this was from Things for Your Stuff, or I think So Dolce, I hope I'm saying that right, had this as well, and it's like a color shifting thread that I use is from Sunny Sewing Machines. Oh, well, this one's Superior Threads, Tex 92. But usually I use Sunny Sewing Machines Amon thread. It is great to be needed, yes. I have a child up sick with gastro. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right. Oh, David, I'm so happy. He said, your tutorials have made my bag making so much better. Yes, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the handles. I've got my bobbin loaded, ready to go. My handles have been folded for a day or so. And then we'll work on the front of the bag. I'm not sure if you watched me paint the edges of these, but I didn't actually go in with a color. I'm just not worried about it. I think they look fine. So I used the dense base coat from, all I can think is Giardini, and I don't think I don't know, from the other day. You're fine. So yeah, I skived these handles. Yes, the binding is 1 inch wide. I love leather handles so much. even if they aren't skived, they just feel so soft. I really want to make myself a small Velora out of leather and paint it like I did that wallet that I did in the video. But I have no time. Let me know if you guys need me to change the camera angle. I'm going to try to look up every once in a while to answer questions. But I want this to be fairly concise in case someone wanted to watch it later. So if you watched my other video, you'll know I kind of messed up the handle there. You can see it's ripped, but I think once it's folded over the handle hardware, you're really not going to notice that, so I'm okay with it. I might not put it on my website, so in person someone would be able to see it. What stitch length do you like to do your handles at with leather? Right now it's at a stitch length of 5, which is my usual stitch length for most things, really. I have 2 custom order Maisies to work on soon. I've already got them cut out as of last night. So I figured why not try to do the binding first to see if it'll look good. And then I can make the other ones that way. And what's nice about these skived handles is I'll be able to actually rivet through as well. Okay. I used regular double-sided tape. I'm not sure what cold tape is. Corinne, I won't tell. I won't tell anybody. Okay, so the next portion I'm going to work on is the front strap connectors. These are the llama portion of the bag. They look like, well, they're a little phallic looking, but once they're folded, they look a little llama-like. So, it's just fun. So I'm going to use double-sided tape. I used Sew Fuse Plus here to help stabilize. And it fused really quickly. I have a ton of Decaville Light that I purchased from Cereal Bag Makers, like last April. I bought 2 rolls, and I still have a ton of it, but it's so expensive that I try to kind of be very specific on where I use it. So I'm trying to use the Sew Fuse Plus a little bit more to see how I like it, because I think it's like $5 or $6 a yard, maybe $7. I really can't remember, but it is from Cast Iron Handcrafted. Monica. She also has a YouTube channel. Look at that. Beautiful. And I actually cut my stabilizer. Usually I do it like the width of the handle. It's $4.75 a yard, Dalva said. Yeah, it's super cheap, like insanely low priced. I'm not sure, she may have to raise the price eventually after figuring out cost, and I don't know. It could go up, who knows, but I'm just saying. Hi, my question is, how do I price my bag for customers? So that is super personal. People have calculators so that you can charge per hour and then cost of materials, and then you're supposed to multiply that for wholesale versus retail. So there's a lot that goes into it. Mostly what I do is I charge $60 an hour I used to charge less because I didn't know as much. My bags weren't as great, great, wow, come down a notch. So yeah, $60 an hour, and that includes my cost of materials, etc. So this bag here, it's probably about a 2-hour sew. Took me 40 minutes to cut an interface. I don't really charge for cutting and interfacing time, but so you'd want to charge at least $120 for this bag, and then with leather I like to add maybe $20 to $30. So it's really just personal. You can go based on the market, or something I like to do is what would I purchase this bag for. So pricing is really hard. And the faster you are, you know, the quicker bags get. Doesn't mean you have to charge less, you know. But a long time ago, yes, always add for shipping and handling. It can get really expensive, so keep that in mind. On my website, I have it set up to, like, I have a weight per bag, and then it charges based on the location of the customer. So, yeah. Oh, I need to sew that first. Oops. I mean, I guess I don't really have to since it's leather, but let's stay true to the pattern, shall we? Okay, so basically what you do is you just stitch where it is folded over to help reinforce it. And I'm just gonna keep that stitch length of 5. I'm gonna go up one side and just kind of chain sew it together. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this bag. If I wasn't so lazy, I probably would have edge coated a really fun bright blue on the handle connectors. Okay, so I'm just clipping one away and then going around the other side. And this is going to help keep my thread from nesting, creating a little rat's nest? Bird nest? What do they call it? Okay, and then I'm just gonna trim away all my extra threads. If you're really fancy, you can tie it off. Charlie says, the problem with what would I pay is because we know what is involved. Many people complain about price because they don't know or care about the work that goes into it. That's true. You just dropped some knowledge there. If people love what you make, they will pay any price. If they say it's too much, then they aren't your customer. Never be ashamed to price your bags too high. You know your worth. Very true also. Yeah, it's so true. People will pay over $400, if not more, just for a name brand bag. And it is very true. Like, if people aren't willing to pay, they aren't your customer. But sometimes you also have to think, so I make a lot of fandom geeky bags. I know my customer. I know generally how much money they have and how much money they're willing to spend on a specific product like that. Which is why I do a lot of Comic-Cons, well, when the world was normal. Because those people, that sounds terrible. The people that attend those things usually have saved up money for that specific event, and they have money they are willing to spend. So that's why I always like to do those. At craft shows, that can work, but a lot of times those people aren't there to spend 190, you know, plus on a bag. They might be like, oh geez, I wasn't ready to spend that kind of money. So I used to do a lot of craft shows, but if you're going to do those, just make sure that you have smaller priced items, things under 40. Okay, so I'm folding this under about an inch, and I'm gonna measure, yep, 1 inch. I think that's a great point. You either make what works for your market or you find the market for what you want to make. Yeah, well, gosh, you're just so smart. Well said. Hey Trish, how's it going? Trish, funny story for you. I'm working on custom orders, and I was filling out my custom order forms, and I just had flashbacks of the time that I went live to make a bag, and the custom order form had like her address on it and stuff. And I was like, oh, I relived it. Hi Clarice. I always say you get what you pay for, so if you want crap, it won't cost a lot, but if you want quality, you'll pay for it. That's true. That's true. Oh, man. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and spray these pieces gently. So I am not adding my foam yet. This is a cotton canvas interfaced with SoFuse Plus, just one layer of it. So it's not super sturdy, but once I add that foam, I really think it's gonna do well. I remember that, yeah, it was terrible. We obviously have a very wise group of people watching today. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just lining up the edges, sticking it in place. Oh, so pretty. It's gonna be so pretty. There we go. So the reason I don't like to add the foam yet is because once you stitch on top of foam, I'm sure you guys have heard me say it a million times, it like perforates it, and then it's likely to fold in those places over time. Okay. Oh, that was hilarious. I don't think this stuff sticks super well. Maybe it's just the leather, and I should just use double-sided tape or glue. Hi Norma, working on one now. Repeat customer. She likes the wackiest things that always make me procrastinate. Oh man. Yeah, that would be hard. Okay, we're not using this. I don't know why. It's just not working super well, but I know this tape will. Since you educate folks, they can learn by checking your videos. Hello, Peggy. Honestly, I usually don't edit out things like that either. If I do, I'll include it at the end, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't mess up something. All right. want to kind of match up your stitching line with where you originally stitched the connector. I'm adding a piece of leather behind so that I don't scratch up my leather. Delicious. Super soft. Oh, Corinne, I love watching, been watching for over a year and I'm still scared. No, don't be scared, just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Alright, we're gonna tape these. Oh, my scrunchie, yeah, thanks. I bought it in the kids section at Target. A while ago, honestly, but they're like a velvet fabric and they hold my hair really well. Target is the best. Can Target be a sponsor of the So Magical Expo? I wish I was going just to take your class and see the Gaylord again. Oh, I know, I'm so excited. I found my DU1181N off of the Facebook Marketplace. Nice. First time live. Love the big pink donut pillow. Thank you. My friend Angelina made that. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of me making or helping my friend make underwear for the first time, but that was her. She's such a joy. She has an Etsy too. It's Panda Squid. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add my nameplate. A nameplate and rivets. Rivet. are Dorothy and Ben getting along? They're not. But anytime she reaches for him, he's like, But he definitely likes to hang out where she's at. Why, when you pivot, you turn the wheel and press the reverse lever? Just to secure the stitch before I move on. That, and I use the turn wheel a lot, and that's mostly because I don't have a needle positioner, but I don't want one, really. Oh, I should have riveted through the foam. That's okay. Okay. So there is our main panel. I have two different presses, one to punch the hole, one to set the rivet, only because it saves time, especially since I used to rivet handles onto totes, and switching out the dies got really annoying. Definitely not necessary. Oh, Brittany, that's really good to know. I love the positioner on my 8700 for cat toys, but I don't think I'd want it on my 1181. Hey Lauren, need purse patterns made into acrylic. How? I use Tops and Bobbins. I'm not sure that they're doing custom orders right now, though. Would you say making a handmade purse or backpack should be around the same price budget? It really just depends on the time that goes into it. I use a 2mm hole punch. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just baste the main panel onto the foam, and then I'll add a nameplate. Oh, I also opened, these are from Famore Cutlery, and they're just snips like the Tula Pink ones. They feel extremely sturdy. I don't know if it was because mine are like 3 years old, but these feel so nice. Here's the difference. These are the Tula Easy Snips. These are Famore. I don't know. They just feel really nice, and they're curved instead of straight, so they're less likely to be stabby. But here is the brand Famore. Anyway. I've been meaning to contact them for like a discount code or something. The only thing, my 1181 doesn't have the finger guard, so I have to be really careful. You might be able to contact Sewing Gold or Sunny Sewing Machines or something to purchase one. I'm sure they have access to those. And I'm going to work on the bottom panel, add purse feet, and that's mostly so I can finish off the taco portion of the bag. I had tacos for lunch. So for this bag, I used 2 layers of the So Fuse Plus. And if she's out of stock for some reason, Royal Pixie Custom Fabrics also has So Fuse, a So Fuse like, they call it Pixie Fuse Plus or something. Pixie Fuse Heavy. Alright, so 6.5 is the center. No, that's not right. There's 6 and up. There we go. That's my center. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Pixie Custom Fabric Group also has something similar. Someone said I have the Juki TL 2010Q and I use 69 thread or Tech 70. The back stitch is very bulky. It could be too thick for your machine. I don't use my machine for bag making hardly ever unless I'm trying to show how easy a bag can be on for a tutorial, but it could very well be too thick. I feel like Tex 45 is something I've read that's like as thick as you'd want to go. Do you ever use a seam guide on your machine, or do you know of one you recommend? I bought a seam guide, but I did watch Steve from Sewing Gold's machine on how the seam guide plate is not good. So I'm glad that I took it off like 5 minutes after sewing with it. I wasn't a huge fan just because I'm not used to it. So yeah, I don't know unless you just use a little bit of washi tape, which you have coming, or something to mark it off. I just eyeball it. I really need to get the magnetic strip for my Juki so that I can just place all my tools there and not elsewhere. Oh yeah. I can't wait to get my washi tape. Yes. If you're talking about this seam ripper, it's from Tulip Pink. I just got it off of Amazon. It's just a surgical seam ripper. And I actually don't really use it to seam rip. I've had people email me or ask questions about like how hard the hand wheel is to turn. And when you first get the machine, it is really hard to turn, but it helps if you lift up the presser foot while you're turning it. When you sew all vinyl on your bag on your machine, what needle? Size 19 and usually Tex 70 to Tex 90. Hello, Christine. top stitch through that bottom panel. So right now we're making the taco portion of this bag. She's pretty. Nameplate. Don't forget the nameplate. Nameplate on this side will be good. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half and snip my centers, because we will need those later on to attach the pad to the taco. Could you just not, Lauren? Just one of these days. Could you just not? Impossible. Impossible. Ruler. That looks good. Yes, this is the leather that I skived. Oh yeah, using the duct tape on the bottom is so cool. I am making a messenger bag out of all cotton, and for the strap gusset and the outer fabric I used batting, and for the lining I used 950F shirt layer, and I'm waiting for fabric for the front outer fabric. Oh, very cool. Do you have any plans to film the Esperanza bag? I have not had any plans to do so. I have been meaning to do another Ora Rosa pattern. I am just stuck making the Erica Bowler bag. I don't know what else to say. But for the next month or two, I'm going to be working on bags for a show that I have to do. So it's not going to be a lot of fun variations. I'm doing ones that are pretty quick but classy. So I'm doing the Vizzy convertible crossbody backpack. I'm doing a ton of the Ericas because I can make one of those in like an hour and a half. And cutting it is pretty quick too. The Bowler is a super great bag. Do I always interface the strap connectors? I try to, but I wouldn't say that I always do. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the zipper panel, and then I will work on my lining fabrics. You've got to be kidding me. Well, we'll go back to the cutting table. I forgot to cut out my main panels. I was so tired. It was the last bag I cut last night. We'll get there. We don't mind an adventure, right? Okay. Probably couldn't hurt to try double-sided tape, but I'm just not gonna do it. I bought the 1/8 inch wide double-sided tape from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts, and I'm excited to try it. I just haven't tried it. So I'm using these really long pieces of waterproof canvas for my zipper panel, and I'm just going to trim it down when I'm done to the size of the exterior zipper panel. So that's a lazy trick when you're doing like zipper panels like this. Okay, so I'm going to use my iron and press along the lining. Be very careful with your steam when you're working with leather. Oh yeah, Brittany's channel is the Emporium. Definitely give her some support and some love. If you've been thinking about buying a Technisport chair, she also has a code, and you'll help her earn free chairs. That, and then I'll lay my other panel piece. I did trim these pieces down from the pattern to not, I think I cut like 1 inch off of how wide it was. So wherever you would cut the foam out is what I've cut the fabric out, because we're not doing a drop-in lining. And I think, yeah, that's what I messed up like the very first time I made the bag. I don't think I trimmed it down enough. Okay, make sure that your main panels are lined up. I'm gonna iron. That lazy trick that makes it nicer to fold back, yes. Oh yeah, I definitely have to try it. I know my friend Nikki loves it, the double-sided tape from Wizardry. It looks really nice. I think my only like downside is, as far as I know, they're not gonna have it like readily available all the time. So that is potentially frustrating. So I'm going to top stitch this seam, and then I'm going to baste all the way around and just trim off the excess waterproof canvas. So basically just cutting those big panels makes cutting and interfacing a lot faster. You don't have to be so precise with it, which I like. But make sure your zipper pulls are in. And I did not add any interfacing to the top panel. I think the pattern says to use foam, and if you're using like all cotton fabrics or something like that, not using waterproof canvas, I could see how that would be helpful, but definitely pretty bulky. Okay, so there is our part of our maxi pad. Now we're gonna add the wings. No, I'm kidding. Hi, Jessica. What type are of pins? So I'm actually using hair clips. You can buy silver ones from a beauty supply store, or I have these fun rainbow ones on my website. Yes, so your zipper panel should fit the top of the side panel. I'm not adding side pockets. I don't think they're super useful, but they do look nice if you want to add them. And then you add your lining. Right sides together. Make sure your lining is touching your lining. Exterior touching the exterior. Oh crap. I forgot to add my D-rings. And if I were doing it the other way, it wouldn't matter. But guess what? This bag just won't be crossbody compatible because I'm not undoing it. I don't trust leather to sew very well. I don't want to perforate it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because I didn't have a crossbody strap cut for the bag anyway. And no one will ever know that it was supposed to have one. Okay. So just to make it easier, I'm gonna go ahead and iron this side and this side. I'll move you with me because I have to go cut out lining pieces anyway. So I'm only pressing the lining and then folding that down. I don't think the fabric sold out today, no. The vinyl dice is sold out, but last I looked there was still poison apple dice. Poison apple fabric in the dice, and then I think there's still woven of the vinyl. Woven of the dice. OMG. If I could talk, that'd be great. It's so pretty. Okay, so there is our maxi pad. Tell me you don't see it. Try to tell me you don't see it. Okay. You would order on my website. I don't have any zipper tape in stock right now. We are currently still working on cutting everything out. So we've got these IKEA bags full of pre-cut zipper tape, and then we have to like roll them and bundle them up, count them, that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be probably mid-May when zipper tape is available. And then instead of using a pattern piece, I'm just using this lining or this exterior piece that I've already cut perfectly. perfectly to just cut around. And I like to use the sewing clips when I'm cutting. Sewing clips, the hair clips, to hold things together. So there is, let go, one exterior piece. I'll just do the same. So this is waterproof canvas that I'm using for the lining. I purchased it from fwdfabrics.com. Some people, I saw a thread about people who aren't really a fan of the waterproof canvas. They think it feels kind of like a lunchbox lining, and that's totally personal preference. I love the way it feels. It gives so much stability to the bag. It's $7 a yard. It's 60 inches wide. I love it. So now I've got my lining pieces ready to go. We'll go back to the sewing machine. Good to see you. I bought my 1181 from Steve and told him you gave me the confidence to do so. Oh, yay! The dice is still available and woven. Perfect. I figured we've run that print so many times. Is waterproof canvas the same as blackout lining? I'm not sure. That's a great question. Thank you. I love my basement studio. And I always try to make announcement videos when like zipper tape and fabric will be available. So if you haven't hit the bell notification, you can do that if you want. It's not a requirement. Okay. Oh, hi Eddie and Emily. Thank you for joining us. All right, so I've got two pieces for my zipper pocket. I've got a bottom lining piece, and then I'm going to create a slip pocket just by folding over the edge of the waterproof canvas. This piece is 6 inches by 16 or 14 or whatever. I always like to cut it longer than I need it to be. And then, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, no. I'll just lay it in place. So I like to find my centers, and then I'll clip. And since the fabric is not in focus, here, let me lower this. It's because I'm wearing a black shirt. Since the fabric is longer than I need it to be on either side, I'm going to flip it over and baste the width of my lining panel. So it's a long slip pocket right now, or you can add 2 slip pockets or however many slip pockets you want. So I'm just coming up from the bottom about 1/8 of an inch from my center line, and then I'm going to back stitch a few times at the top and come back down. So I'm creating like a little channel between the slip pockets, to make a divider. I'm doing that. Are you happy? Doing that. So now I can add my bottom panel to this side. 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch this down just because I think it'll sit nicely. And then we'll work on our zippered pocket. Hello from Istanbul. Awesome. Welcome. Alright, I've snipped my center. I'm going to grab my template. To make a zipper box. I'm just adding a 7-inch zippered pocket. I feel like for most bags I do that. I don't know. It's just easy. Lower this. I don't need all these clips right now. Okay, so stitch length down to 4. I'm going to back stitch to start. Probably going to run out of bottom thread. Back stitch at the end, and then I just jump over to the next line. I do not sew a box, I just sew 2 parallel lines. Just cut that open. To the iron. And I like to make sure that I'm kind of rolling this seam Use a lot of steam, and don't let the iron touch the waterproof canvas for too long or it could melt. But you want to steam it so it lays nice and flat. And I'll add my zipper pocket. And I like to cut my tape super long. She sounds suspicious. I think we're gonna run out of bobbin. Yep, there it was. That is okay. And I've been keeping bobbins that I need on the top of my machine since I have so many freaking machine magnets. It's kind of nice though. I'm not the inventor of that idea. I saw someone post and so whatever, but they do that, and I just can't remember who it was, so I apologize. I do apologize for that. Come on, come on. And then before I close off my zipper box, pull in the zipper pull. And then just trim down the extra zipper tape. I've been realizing though, now that I don't turn bags through the pocket as often anymore, I've been forgetting to add woven labels. So I'm gonna try to remember to do that in the seam before I sew it all together. I'm probably going to change the camera angle when I put all of it together, so I won't be able to read comments as easily. So when a bag can be made with binding, it's been fun. I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier, but I do like to turn a bag through a bottom, leave my pocket open, and then pull it through the pocket, sew it up, and then close it off through the pocket. That way it's just less intense on your hands. And I do have a video on that. But it's actually originally thought up by Angela Marie Trenholm, I believe. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and line up my bottom panels, match up those seams. Goodbye forever. And then my center snips, make sure they're pretty well matched up too. And I'm gonna baste everything together. Just using like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Use a longer stitch length so it doesn't take forever. So this is 100% not in the instructions of the pattern, just so you're aware. If you purchase this pattern and you're like, oh. Okay, so I'm going to trim down my foam. That's extra just because I rough cut, you know. So now we've got a really big taco with lining. Could the bag be made with leather? Like all leather? I mean, I am using leather, so I feel like yes. Okay, so now I'm going to match up my center snips, or find them again. Where'd you go? Oh, where are my center snips? Just gonna match them up again. Yeah, it's still generally in that same spot. So you want to find 4 centers. And we're going to fold it this way. Okay, and then we're going to find the centers on this. Find the centers on the maxi pad. So what this changes about the bag is kind of the dimensions, because you're not losing ½ inch to the seam allowances. So that's one thing I'm a little bit curious about. I'm going to baste my lining down. I should have done that earlier. And then I'm going to find the center of this panel here. Where did I get this purple leather from? This is from Tandy Leather. I believe it's one of their studio sides. And then I'm going to put my exterior to my exterior and have my linings facing out, interior facing out, and line those up. I'm going to add a few clips to the bottom first. You can also use staples, and I probably will be stapling within the seam allowance because these curves might shift on me. And then I'm going to match up the centers here. There it is. Really hoping this works out. I feel like it will. Really good feeling about tonight. Okay, so this is the bag kind of coming together. I'm really glad I did not use foam on this zipper panel so far. I haven't, of course, put the bag fully together, sewn it, turned it through, but everything feels to be pretty well standing. And when we add the waterproof canvas, it's gonna add like a boning to the bag almost. So yeah, it would have been just so thick if I'd added foam to the side panel. You probably, if you wanted to, you could add foam to this bottom part, the edges of the zipper panel. But if you were to add pockets, you'd have that extra thickness there, so I almost wouldn't worry about it. If I can omit foam, I do. Yeah, right? I don't have my zipper open yet, but it's really easy to just pop a finger in and pull it. Pull it. Pop it. I don't know why I'm thinking about pop it. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Oh, I'm excited. I'm not sure if I want to add the staples or not. I don't think it could hurt though, but yeah, here's the bag so far. Looks perfect. Just gonna add little staples here and there. You will have to remove these before you add the binding. So you want to make sure that you're not stapling through anywhere that's gonna show. So I could see these parts up here kind of coming loose. So just couple places. So this you will remove. The staples don't stay. Was that my last one? No, okay, good. So now I'm gonna switch up camera angles so you guys can see better. There's my ceiling. Lift you up a bit more. Okay, so I won't be able to see comments. I do apologize. Take our stitch length back down. I'm going to start over here. It's a nice flat spot. Try to shove that into the machine. I'm just going to use like the edge of my foot as my guide. The edge of the sewing machine's foot, not my own foot. So you can see it kind of came loose down here. I'm just going to re-pinch this together. Add more clips. I wonder if there's any kind of like rubberized clip that actually holds better. I don't know. You want to slowly like turn and pinch the curves. You know, actually I could trim down my seam allowance to be able to add the piping and the binding. We'll try that sometime. Not today, not on any of the custom orders I have to do, but maybe another time. I'm not sure if you can see, like down here, it just kind of all came undone. So that's why the staples are nice, because it's less likely to come undone. Still could. She's come undone. Okay. One thing that isn't great about the staples is if they're not completely in, they will cut you. Okay, so I'm just making sure that my centers are still lined up. Situate the curve. So I will turn this camera just a little bit. I'll still keep it facing the bag, but just so I can read comments really quick while I'm removing staples. Every time I watch, I really want to buy an industrial machine, then I spend ages talking myself out of it, and then again comes Lauren with another video to start the cycle all over again. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So I do have a staple remover that my friend Casey recommended I purchase. Oh, there it is. Perfect. So you just, because your fingernails are jewels, not tools. I'm just kidding. I mean, I've been saying it lately just because I really love doing my nails, but I don't think they're words to live by. Mail's here. Oh, I have a jar that says industrial and I put all my change in it. I love that. I really want to do a giveaway of an industrial machine at some point. I don't know if I ever will, but I bet Steve was sewing gold. He probably owes me a machine at this point. I don't actually have like affiliate codes with any sewing machine dealer. I don't get any kickbacks when you guys purchase a machine from anyone I recommend. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, so I am trimming down any place that my lining and my exterior aren't quite even. It's like right here, my exterior is jutting out just a little bit. So that's just going to make it a little bit easier to attach my binding. Oh, missed a staple. Tools, not jewels. No, jewels, not tools. I'm always going to mess that up. Oh, well, I guess it can make sense, like use a tool, not a jewel. Unless you're Christine from Simply Neological. I love her. Oh, missed another staple. Okay. You have sold a ton without even knowing. It's so true. All right. So I'm gonna take a peek. I'm not gonna turn the bag just because that would be a lot of time wasted. Hi, Ella. Oh, from North Carolina. Love North Carolina. I'm just gonna make sure that, you know, all my seam allowances look good and that I didn't miss anything. I wanna make sure that I can't see any basting stitches. And I don't think so. I'm feeling pretty confident right now. I probably shouldn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of my binding pieces and we're just gonna see how far that will get us. I think when I mathed it out, it's 62 inches all the way around. Oh, thank you, Peggy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, all of you. Okay, so I'm adding that waterproof canvas binding. I wonder if I should come over here and raise you up. Yeah, that'll work. So I use 1 inch wide and I make sure that it's longer underneath. So I don't fold it directly in half. As I'm adding it, I would say I fold it a little milk money for Dorothy. Love it. About like that. That way I'm less likely to miss the underside of the binding. All right, sorry, I gotta put it in my lap. It's just easier this way. So I have hopefully said it before, but I am not the first person to use waterproof canvas for binding. Lynn's Handmade, from what I understand, is at least the first pattern I've seen it listed, recommended in. That was the Lynn Sport backpack. And when she showed it and talked about it, I was like, yeah, I think I'm on board for that. Just because, again, I don't think I'm lazy necessarily, but like time. This might actually fit all the way around. Maybe not. Hopefully I'm in frame. And basically you just pinch the seams, pinch it all the way around. No, it's not going to fit. It's just a few inches short. That's okay. Now you could either sew binding together, but I'm just going to add another little piece and patch it on. You do not have to cut the waterproof canvas on a bias. You just cut straight because it's not long enough. Oh my gosh. No! Ugh. You know those memes that are like how close I am to losing my shit? Ah! Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, man, if I hadn't like trimmed it, maybe, just maybe. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a little piece. But can you show the right and wrong side of the waterproof canvas? Yeah, absolutely. So this is the wrong. It's kind of waxy. And then this is the right. It's got a texture. You can see it's like a canvas feel. Okay. So I'm just cutting a little piece like this. It's way longer than I actually need it to be, but whatever. And I'm just gonna fold the edges over. And clip it in place. Okay. Let's fold that just a little bit better. No one will ever know. Oh yeah, I was gonna add a woven label. Try this. I'll put it like right here. There we go. Ah! Okay. Any questions? Put the tag at the join. Yeah, maybe. As a beginner, what bag pattern would you recommend starting with? I would recommend starting with just simple zipper pouches first, especially as an introduction to zippers, and then move on to little makeup bags, and then I would try a bag. If you want to jump in and try a bag, go for it, but I think starting with something small is going to be a little more instant gratification. It'll be more rewarding. Starting with a bag might be very disheartening, especially if you're not incredible at it. Some people are with their first bag. I was not. It it was a sad time. And I think I even recently posted in So Whatever one bag that I had made, and I was like, I'm never making a purse again. Or it'll be a while till I make another purse or something like that. But it was like literally the next night. Alright, I should have changed my bobbin, but I feel like it's got enough life still in it. And then when I add binding, I don't like to go past my initial stitch line. Hopefully, yeah, you guys can see. I can zoom in though, too. Here we go. Yeah, I'm really not sure how domestic machines would handle waterproof canvas binding. So if you wanted to, you could even line your bag with a cotton print and try waterproof canvas binding over top of that. Might be a little easier, I'm not sure. And then if you have any extra binding in any places, you can just carefully take a pair of scissors. If you have like applique scissors or something, that would honestly be the best. But you can see here, like I've got a long piece here, and I can just kind of take my little snips and drag it along the fabric. And that'll clean it up. I'm not super worried about doing that to a bag though. I don't think it's necessary. It does give it a nicer finish. And like places where it's way too much and really obvious, I will. But yeah. So now we are ready to flip it out and add the handles. My brother PQ 1500 handled waterproof binding really well. That is awesome, Sharon. I've played with that machine before, but never purchased one. And I think that's pretty much like the brother equivalent to the Juki 2000 QI. Maybe a little bit stronger. Well, thank you so much for the thumbs up, everybody. That kind of helps push the video into other people's algorithms, whatever. All right. So yeah, super thankful I didn't add a bunch of foam and Decaville to this bag. Never thought I'd say that. If anyone can answer, what is a good heavy-duty domestic machine that you can recommend? I got no answers there from me personally. I do apologize. Yeah, Juki brother is cheaper. Nope, no worries there. Get what you can afford. Okay, so I'm just pressing against the side seams and kind of massaging it. I was shopping. Hello, Kira. Really hope this looks good so that I can make the other two today, because this was so much quicker. Yeah, the Janome HD9. I really, honestly, I think I need to, one of these days, just purchase one to try out for you guys. Ooh, she looks pretty good. I think I needed to trim my corners a little bit, my curves. But I don't outwardly hate it. I don't think any spots look weird. Just kind of in this area where the seam probably should have been trimmed a little bit more. Like I literally just said. Let's get those handles. I have a brother in Ovis 4. Project Runway Edition, I haven't had any issues making bags, lots of vinyl layers. Nice. So the difference between the 1181 and the 1541 is the 1541 is for much thicker materials than the 1181 can handle. I believe it's more of a true walking foot, I've heard people say. Yes, that's true. Some people don't have the space for an industrial machine, but still want the power of an industrial. Very true. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta resew this handle, which means I should resew the other one so they don't look weird. But I missed. That's okay. It'll look cool. So I'm just going to add a second row of stitching to these handles to catch that. And only, you guys will know it's because I messed up. Only happy accidents here. I think with the 1541 you can't sew thinner materials, which is why some people prefer the 1181. Yeah, I have a video comparing the two. I hope you can get an idea from that. Could we get an inside shot? Oh yeah, of the bag. Yes. I was like, oh, an inside shot of what? Are you being weird? Someone asking to see the feet of the sewing machine. This was actually the first run of this fabric and we just haven't brought it back yet. People haven't requested it. So there is the inside of the bag. There's our zipper pocket and our slip pocket. Everything feels pretty easily accessible. Oh, yay, Lisa. I'm so glad you love the shirt. And then honestly, if somebody wanted a crossbody strap, they could clip it here and here. Angie, yeah, I wish I could go and play with a bunch of machines. Absolutely. I want to go back. If I get a shop space like I'm wanting, I definitely want to have one of each of those machines for people to come play with and for me to kind of show you guys the difference as well. Oh, it would be so fun. I just don't have the mental energy at the moment to like do what needs to be done, more or less. It is less stress on my hands with the binding. You're absolutely right. Okay, so I am adding my rivets now. It's so weird. I used to make bags all day, every day. And like now that I'm finally getting a chance to make bags, making one, I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to be done for today. But I don't have to be done for today. I keep going. No, I do not have a cam press. These are from Gold Star Tool, which they've changed since I purchased mine, so I can't say that I would recommend them. But some people have purchased them and still like them, so just do your research. I would say try the cam one. I think Jess from Oakley Roots did a video with the cam snap press, and she really liked it, so. Oh my gosh, yes, Heidi. Heat press changed my life. I honestly don't know anything about the DDL 5500, 550, 550, I don't know. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I love this bag. I think it turned out really good. You can hear how sturdy. Do you know the Crafty Gemini? She opened and closed a shop in 1 year-ish. I don't know. I mean, it could have been COVID. I might try to cut out one more and try with binding. I'm not sure. No, I added a tag to it, and I added one inside as well. No, there it is. Boom. Alrighty. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'm super excited to get 2 more of these done. But yeah. Oh, the sewing room of Garner. I have a teaching studio and have been open for 5 years. That's so awesome. Yeah. I feel like if you know what you're doing, you have a good customer base, you have a decent savings account, you can do it. But it's just like getting a business license, paying rent, setting it up. Sounds like a lot of work. So yeah, I will see you guys later.